Wacky Wednesday, we're back at it, moving the chains. How are we doing, everybody? I gotta go dive deep into the Chicago Bears, my side of the family, where my dad's side's from. I got the Laremy Tunsil trade. I got a lot going on today. But I wanted to start with the Chicago Bears. So, isn't it crazy what a difference a year makes? I mean, a year ago, all of it was Caleb Williams. Okay, we got it, Chicago. You had to take Caleb Williams. Okay. I would have stuck with Justin Fields, but I get it. Caleb is the better all-around talent, whatever. I'm not going to get into it. So I understood it from that perspective. And it last year was just a shit show. I mean, come on. I don't need to go into it. 68 sacks taken. He could have taken 80 last year. Some of that was the offensive line. Some of that was his fault. You know, they drafted Dunze, who's a stud and a star at Washington, but you took him at 9 when he could have had an offensive tackle. You kind of whiffed. And Ryan Poles, to me, has kind of been scattershot with his decisions. You know, they had the Chase Claypool move, gave a second-round pick. That blew up in his face. I agree, being aggressive and trying to take a chance on a guy. It just tried. And some of it has worked, some of it hasn't. That's okay. But this offseason, to me, when I heard the news today, and I've been following it, and like most people are, is when I saw the Bears get Drew Dalman from Atlanta, highest paid center, $45 million, $28 in guaranteed money. I saw them go get Jonah Jackson from the Rams, gave up a trade there. Joe Thuney from the Chiefs, solid player, getting up there in age, 32 years old. But, you know, we could see that he could still play at a pretty decent level. Been a Super Bowl champion, obviously, 6-timer. Maybe 4, I can't remember. I think it's something in that range, Chiefs and Patriots. So he's a high-level player, been there, done that. So I'm not worried about that from the Bears' perspective. They've done a nice job. And what they've done is, and I think Ben Johnson's got a blueprint on this, he saw how it was up in Detroit. Mike Kesnick and Derek Stolman know this. The two guys that I know are big Lion fans know this about as good as anybody. They built it on the line as a scrimmage. You built it on the offensive line. You built it on the defensive line. The Bears didn't have either of those last year. Mainly the offensive line. I mean, every other game I'm watching Caleb get his ass beat. And some of that's on Caleb, some of that's on the offensive line. You could point the blame at whatever. But there's no excuses for Caleb Williams right now. They've gotten you all the toys. They've gotten you all the offensive line. They beefed it up. They've solidified it. They've gotten you high-level players. This isn't like bums off the street, tomato cans. These are high-level guys. Some, you know, that are kind of near the end, but still can produce at a decent level for you. Now you got to perform, Caleb. This is on you. Like, the clock is ticking now in Chicago. Can this guy save the Bears and get out of this rut they've been in for the last, I've been watching football 17 years. I mean, it feels like longer. Can they finally get the guy at quarterback? It's always, I mean, I've been watching football a long time, and the Bears can never get the quarterback position right. They've always, to me, there's been a few franchises to me that are similar mirror images of each other. I've said for the last couple of years, I think the Bears and Ravens are similar. Defensive culture, defensive Hall of Fame players, Mike Singletary, Ed Reed, Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs, like high-level guys. And they had quarterbacks that we don't know if they loved or not. Flacco, Jay Cutler, Joe Flacco more so than Jay Cutler. But I always felt like that with the Ravens and Bears. And Max Lawson, shout out to you, my bro. I love you. The biggest Raven fan I know. You would know this better than anybody. Is that I've always felt like that. And then Pittsburgh, to me, feels in that class right now. But now it's time, Chicago. You got to change a little bit. And maybe this time you get Ben Johnson out. Is he going to be a good head coach? I have no idea. He could blow like Moby Dick. I mean, he could be bad, okay? But we'll see. But Caleb, it's on you now. You got to perform now. There's no more excuses. Like, you got your toys. You can go have receivers. You got your offensive line now. So you gotta go do this, and you gotta be good. And you know, we'll see what Ben Johnson can do and what he can cook up, if he can still be creative with his mind, because he is one of the sharp offensive minds in the game with the O'Connells, the LaFleurs, the Shanahans, like all those guys. They're creative. I get it. But to me, this is on Caleb Williams. You gotta show me now. Hey, I'm the #1 overall pick for a freaking reason. I'm gonna show you. Put the team on my back. Let's go. Now, is he capable of doing that? I don't know. From what I saw last year, no. But this year is the proving point to me where you got to go, I got to see it. You got to put it all together now. You got the offensive line. You beefed up the interior. You beefed up the tackles. You got all that going. Now you got to go put this thing together because that division's not going to be easy. Detroit's still going to be good. Green Bay's not going nowhere with that culture and what they've been doing the last 30 years. In the Minnesota, we got to see with J.J. McCarthy, but there's some promise there. And they got to still get a really, really damn good roster. So Chicago's on the clock. Caleb Williams, you got to get this done, brother, because they gave you all the weapons now. No more excuses. You got your toys. That was last offseason. You go get weapons. You go get Keenan Allen, all these guys. Okay, now go get your offensive line. Build this thing. Start this clock and get going. And get the train on the tracks and get going. So, the other thing I want to touch on. Laremy Tunsil got traded the other day. On Monday, as I'm leaving work, curling for the girls. It was back in bye day. Curls for the girls, baby. I saw he got traded. So, a lot of moving parts with that. A lot of first round, a lot of second and fourth round picks, seventh round picks, all that stuff. But I will say this with the 49 with the Commanders. Because they're still the Redskins in my opinion, but Commanders. I love this move because, and I love it from this standpoint. Adam Peters is turning heads now, and maybe I'm fluky, maybe I'm hyperbolic. I get excited. But I have a feeling this thing could last because he's made 4 trades that have made a difference. He got Zach Ertz, he got Bobby Wagner, he got high-end lever players with this star quarterback. Now, can Jaden replicate it? We don't know. C.J. Stroud kind of had that similar sophomore slump. Still put up decent numbers, but not to the level that we saw him as a rookie, which, who could expect that? I mean, come on. A lot of, when you're a rookie, nobody knows your tape and all that stuff. I've heard that for years. But I feel like right now, the Commanders are going all in. They're like, we got to go. And now the NFC is not like the AFC, because the NFC, to me, you got quarterbacks that I like Jordan Love, don't love him. Brock Purdy, like Love. Stafford's still elite, but getting older. Jalen Hurts, So you're kind of on that weird thing in the NFC where it's like the quarterback gauntlet isn't as daunting as the AFC. AFC, you got to get through Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar, Allen, those kind of guys. So I do get the direction that the Redskins are going in. Commanders, excuse me. But my point is, this move was good for both parties. Now, we got to see if Houston can replace Laremy Tunsil. That's hard to do. Hard to find guys that are, whatever it is, 5-time Pro Bowlers, can block the sun out on the left tackle. Now, he did have a bad year, false starts, penalties, all that shit. But I will say he's a high-end player. When his head's right, watch out, because he's one of the better left tackles in all of football. And I think the other thing that this signifies when they got Laremy Tunsil to me was Adam Peters. Where was he at? San Francisco, where they traded for Trent Williams. Or the Niners did, but you guys know what I'm saying. So he knows what high-end quality left tackle play is to protect your blind side and protect your quarterback of the future, which you guys believe in is Jaden Daniels. So I'm looking at the numbers here, wrote some notes down. So the salary cap number on the Texans was $28 million, and people are going to ask why he got traded. Well, that's because of why. So he was $28 million. He had the salary cap number. So the trade with that trade from Tunsil going to Washington and Washington getting all those picks back, the trade saves Houston $13.85 million in cap space and $42.5 million, 0.7, hypothetical, whatever, in cash over 2 years. So that's a good thing. And I still think Houston, both these teams are going to be in the playoffs next year. I have a gut feeling they will. I trust Washington in that division. Philly's going to be a tough out, no doubt. It's going to be Philly, Washington coming down to those 2 spots. I would take Philly to win that division. I'll give you guys my predictions later. My point is, if I'm going off of that, what I've seen so far, now we still got the draft and all that stuff, but I would still take Washington to be finished second, maybe win that division. I don't know. Philly's just loaded right now in the way that operation's running. And then when I look at the Houston, they're winning that South easy. They have the best quarterback in that division. I like Trevor Lawrence, but I've gone on my rants about him. I don't think he's it. I think there's something missing in that mental clock of his. He likes football, he doesn't love it. Reminds me of Andrew Luck. And then Tennessee's got their issues, and then the Colts signing Daniel Jones, I guess. I don't know. Trash for trash, I guess. I don't know. So, we'll see. So, just to recap today, the Bears, Caleb Williams, the clock starts now. You got to get this train rolling. No excuses. You got to perform next year, else I'm looking for other options. And Ben Johnson's got to show me if he can not just be a great play caller, but a head coach. Because they're different animals of both of those. And then the Laremy Tunsil trade, I thought it was a win for both clubs. We got to see what kind of assets the Houston Texans get in terms of helping C.J. Stroud out, because he got his ass beat last year and peppered so many times than not. And we got to hope this new offensive coordinator can actually have a drop-back pass game instead of the San Francisco stuff, which, yes, works great when you're running the ball, play action, all that stuff. You're getting 100 yards rushing. When that run game sucks, you have no drop-back game. So you got to kind of clean that up a little bit and get C.J. Stroud on the back to the right path in terms of close to that rookie year he had, which was sensational. So that's all I want to touch on here tonight. Hope you guys are having a wacky, wonderful Wednesday. Adios. Love you guys. Godspeed.